Welcome to Unity of Bellingham. Thanks for being here. And today we have Reverend Frank with us, and excited for that. And then we have for our ministry for music, it is a full plate today, and we are blessed. For you heard for pre-service music, you heard Heart Dream, and that is Steve and Mirabai. So we thank them for being here. And then we have our dynamic duels, Cheryl and Kate. So, yeah.
God, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. God, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Sanctuary for you.
Let us pray together. Let us gather together. Sacred prayer in unity and love for all living on this beautiful earth are fondly known as Gaia. We know that gathering in the presence of Spirit Divine in unison of thought, feeling, and desire, magnificent miracles align like magic. But this isn't magic. This is the power and presence that loves and supports our beingness. Take a moment to give thanks for the blessings in your life. Now, collectively, let us send loving prayers to those around the world who are existing in the uncertainty of war or severe weather, or someone personal to you whom you want to extend prayer. Feel free to speak their name and hold them in your heart. So, as I begin our time of meditation, I'm going to begin by activating one of the sound bowls, just to bring us into that space and of meditation, of just evening ourselves into meditation. Holding the vibration of the sound bowls within the cells of your body, begin to follow your breath. Slow, deep breath in. Relax and release. Invite relaxation into your body. Your mind will follow and open. By sinking into your breath and the hum of the energy that is you, your prana, your life force. Life is a co-creative process. We each have a unique co-creative relationship with Spirit Divine. Breathe in. Moment by moment, we acknowledge feelings and thoughts and co-create our experience with Spirit. It always feels uplifting to co-create with Spirit. Delight in the knowing that you are a co-creative, divine life artist. You can pause throughout your day. Take a co-creative break. Ask, what sounds good in this moment? Choose uplifting thoughts of well-being and abundance. The value of your thoughts will multiply your vitality. Satisfying thoughts are the foundation of co-creating with Spirit. Breathe in. Allow the next minutes of sound bath to bathe you into artistic delight with Spirit Divine. Breathe in. Remember, the value of your thoughts will multiply your vitality. Any satisfying thought is the foundation of co-creating with Spirit.
Finding stillness, I see the light. In truth, affirmed my dreams in sight. Standing in faith, I know I can reveal in love just who I am. Angels of peace, worries release. Hands of God, angels of peace. Streaming auras, violet and blue. My spirit knows just what to do. Creating a path once unknown. Working with God, now all is shown. Angels of peace, worries release. Hands of God, angels of peace. Love woven together in the garden's midst. I am the one and all in the breath of God's bliss. Angels of peace, worries release. Hands of God, angels of peace.
Angels of peace, yeah. You know, I want to start. I maybe don't do this enough. Because if you write something or anything, you usually footnote it and say, well, here's where I got this or here's where I got that. And today, I got this talk, co-creating in an unfinished universe. It's from a piece that was written by Elia Dalio. She's a Franciscan sister, theologian, but what she really is a physicist, like someone who plays with particle physics, this sister. And then she takes it and she weaves it into this theological understanding, science, and deep mysticism. Oof, it's just great stuff. And she often talks about Teilhard de Chardin. And I've read Teilhard, but I like her interpretation And we've talked about Teilhard de Chardin, the evolutionary consciousness thinker, the paleontologist who wrote for years, and he was a Jesuit, and all the Jesuit people said, don't publish. Dude, if you publish, you're in trouble. So just write, and we'll see what happens. And then he died, and his really good buddy, this woman who kind of kept all his notes, she typed it all up, and within a year, she just published all his stuff. He became a sensation. But he was a sensation. He knew all along. He just was in this place where he didn't want to get in a situation where his genius was going to be suppressed. So he, in a sense of huge humility, just kept publishing. Uilia Dalio, she loves to write about Teilhard. I love to read her. Rob Bell, Rob Bell, one of my favorite people. I learned about him in ministry school. Once a great, big box sort of evangelical person, one of the Times 100 most influential people of the year. He's not doing that anymore. He's just co-creating in the most amazing, beautiful, heartfelt ways. And because he couldn't work in that system, they sort of said, you're not doing this evangelical thing anymore. You need to move on. And he's moved on and writes speculative fiction. He does a podcast called the Robcast. Love the Robcast. Go for a run. I put on my head, like, come on, Rob, you got something new for me, right? The Robcast. Oh, who's our teachers? For this talk today, I got into the book of Mark, the Gospel of Mark. The guy in a hurry. The shortest one, the first one written, and the key word that's in there all the time is, and then they did this, 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 and then it's over. It's the gospel that's like, come on, let's go. I like Mark. Yeah, so Genesis. Go back to Hebrew scripture, the earliest stuff. I'm pulling a little bit from Genesis. Oh, who's that? Richard Rohr, Franciscan Richard Rohr. Some of his stuff. Michael Beckwith from Agape. Was reading some of his stuff to get ready for today. And then I took a shower in Charles Fillmore. What? That man was so far ahead of his time. How did he do this stuff in 1890 and 1900? We're sort of catching up to him, right? Talk about being in the evolutionary flow. And you might say, oh, these are the people that inspired me. Okay, that's fair. You might say, these are the people that I'm learning from, and maybe you're learning from. And my question to you is, of course, as I'm saying this, I'm hoping you're thinking, well, who's inspiring me? Who am I reading? What am I taking in? News programs? Or Charles Fillmore? Oh, and to get ready for a talk, I got to turn off all that other stuff. It's this. I can't get ready for Sunday if I'm having all this distraction. So on Monday, what do I do? Do I go back to, it's a discipline. It's a discipline. It's a discipline. And I say it in some ways I'm inspired, but what are we? I was just thinking of this song. This song. Who created that song? A little piece from Genesis. We're in Lent. We're in Lent now. Ash Wednesday and Valentine's Day, we're on the same day. Kind of a crash this year. Last year we had an Ash Wednesday service. This year, not so much. But we're in Lent. And you might remember our licensed Unity teacher, Connie Monroe. A couple years ago, she did a program for Lent called The Creative Process. Between Ash Wednesday and Easter Sunday, there's 7 weeks. How many days of creation? You see the pattern. You see the pattern. So last week, I wasn't here, but that was week 1. And the Genesis story starts out, and I'm paraphrasing here. In the beginning, it was already heaven and earth. It was already there. In the beginning, there was heaven and earth. And wasn't like they were created. There they were. And then on day 1, it says in Hebrew scripture, God created light. Light. And the light was separated from the night, the day from the night, and the sun and the moon. Evening came, and the morning followed, end of day 1. So this is the 2nd week of Lent. So I went back and looked at Genesis, and what was the 2nd day? The 2nd day. What was birthed in that, in this full creation? And then it says, and then the divine took the waters, and he said, there's the waters above, and there's the waters below, and there's a firmament. He separated the waters. And in the end, as you know the Genesis story, it says, and then God said, it's complete. It's done. I've created everything. Well, yeah, all principle, all potentiality, all divine ideas, all the energy that is available to all of us for eternity. God created all that, and it is done. It's there. Principle, it's done. So like, well, what's artists do? Well, the divine may have made the potentiality and the principle of how music works, but Mirabai and Steve wrote the song. You see the difference? And there's this this principle, God made the principle, I love that one, the principle of flotation, but we build the boats, you know? God made the potential for what a cell phone could be. We designed the ringtones. Right? We are the co-creators in a universe that in some ways, on the infinite side of the equation, is finished. On the infinite side, it's been done. This potentiality, this possibility, all the divine ideas and divine mind for the possibilities of divine expression are complete. But now we show up as these beautiful co-creators. And we get to decide, given the reality of capital R, what's going to show up in the manifest world. Woo. It's so much fun to be human. We get to co-create this world that we're in. We get to do that. There's a story. There was a couple, and one of the people in the couple went up to someone like a spiritual director, a spiritual guide, and said, you know, every time my partner comes home, within an instant, bam, we're fighting. We're at each other. We're really just giving each other a hard time. And they said, I'm just exhausted of this bickering we do. So the spiritual guide says, wait, hold on, I got some. And comes back with this little vial of sacred water. And says, I've got this sacred water that was blessed by a holy person in India. And next time you see your partner, before you say a thing, just take a sip. Hold it on your tongue, just a few seconds. Take a breath. Hold it on your tongue. Look them right in the eyes, and then swallow it and see what happens. So the partner comes in one day, and they're looking out the window and going, yeah, they're not parking right. It looks like they forgot the milk, and here they come, and they look terrible. I walked in the door. Here we go. Partner walks in the door, and they looked him right in the eyes, swallowed, and went, hi, dear, how was your day? And the partner went, it was good. How was your day? And off went this beautiful conversation. And it just started reaching levels of intimacy where they had never experienced in a while. It'd been a while. And so later on, starting to feel a little testy, and the one partner ran over and took another sip, let it sit in her mouth, looked the partner right in the eyes, started another conversation, and off it went. This beautiful, very, very touching, very close to the heart conversation. Oh, and then it was that night, and they went to bed. She wanted more of that sacred water. So, days later, it's gone. The partner had used all the water. Goes back to see the holy guide. I really need more of that sacred water that was blessed by that holy person in India. And they open the fridge. He goes, it's just some spring water I got at Safeway. It's not about the outside thing. The source of our creativity, the source of our co-creativity, the source of that energy that we give, you know the answer. It's in us. It starts with what's in us. Not what's coming out here. It starts with what is within us. And so we go through life, right? And we have something go on, maybe an outside circumstance. And so here it comes at us. It could be something someone said, something that we read, something that we were hearing, something that we understood, something that was just this energy, something that was a pattern, something that was a habit, something that we've done, a way we eat, a way we talk, a way we think, a way we show up, all these different things. And we go, okay, there's my input because I think my life is supposed to start from something outside me. And then I run through to the next phase and I react and I show up in the world from a way thinking that I've got to show up this way because that impetus from outside me tells me I need to show up here. And we just go and we can get into this pattern of like, oh, and here's some things that can really get us, right? This is the way I've always told I should do it. I'll go do this. This is the way, and whose voice are we listening to? This is the way my mom used to say, my grandpa used to say, the culture says something, all these voices are coming at us and go, here I am, I've got this outside information, and now I'm going to run through my life, and I'm going to show up over here, and I'm going to react, and I'm going to show up in life this way. Oh, and now I've got more outside information, I'll take that, and oh, now I'm going to run over here, and I'm going to show up this way, and we get in this and the ones that get us is, this is what I'm supposed to do. Who said? I don't know, but I'm supposed to do it. Everybody knows this is the way you're supposed to do it. I got to live the way I'm supposed to do. So I'm going to march over here and show up as I'm supposed to show up, not happy, not feeling good about myself, feeling like, is something missing. And what I want to suggest to you is we need to find our little cup of sacred water. Here's one thing it can be, and we talk about this all the time. Whatever we think is going on outside, whatever kind of impetus, whatever kind of energy is coming from outside of us, we stop. Yeah, we stop. Now, when I say we stop, this could be something that takes literally, to the outside view, a moment, a second. We just stop, right? Just stop. And now, instead of going like all this stuff outside of me, I want to start taking this stuff, this energy that's coming from a different source, from source divine, from the light, from the deep truth that lights my heart. And I can just breathe. Take that in. Now, how do I want to show up in the world? How do I want to show up differently? And I'm going to say the starting point for what I want to do is right here. It's right here. It's not from the stuff coming at me. It's from the stuff that's in my heart that I can access through. Now, I do the thing of like sitting in a chair, meditation. And many of us do sit and meditate, connect to source. As Charles Fillmore say, go to the silence, be quiet, listen to the energy of spirit speaking to my heart. I would call this, you can call it a lot of things, this chair. I want to suggest we call it the temple of our heart. The temple of our heart. And I want to suggest you maybe close your eyes for just a second, and imagine a temple of your heart. And many of us have been to temples or chapels or sacred spaces. You might think of this place. Imagine in your imagination, what does it look like? Is it a place in nature? Is it a natural place? A grove, a cave, a forest? Is it a built place? Is it small? Does it have noise? Is there a creek running outside? Is there bells tinkling? Is there something on the wall? Is it bright or is it dark? In this temple of your heart, what's the background sense of things? Is there bugs chirping? Are you warm or are you cool with a jacket? Feel that temple of your heart. Know that place for yourself. Know that place for yourself. Yeah. There was at the ashram in Oakland, they had a place called the Breezeway. Big old Badi Baba and a Saraswati over the side, and it was like a wall, but it didn't go to the ceiling, and all the cars on 14th Street were going, this white noise of cars. used to go in there and sit, and there'd be candles all over. And just with the noise and the cool fog, could almost feel like it's rolling in, sitting in that quiet space. Sometimes I'd be coming home from work. I'm going to go to the breezeway, zip over to the ashram, just go sit. Find that space. We all have that space, right? We know we've experienced those places in our lives. And find that place and know that whenever something comes up, whatever it is, especially here's the things, the supposed-tos, the should-haves. Here's the thing, like sometimes we say, here I am, and I can go through here in life, and I know what I'm doing. I've done it 100 times. I'm really good at it. I can go start a business. I can go work, I can get this job. I can get the volunteer. I could show, people would love me. I'm so skilled. I could just show up here. I could. But somehow as I'm going that way, I go, yeah, but I don't wanna. It makes sense. It seems like the right thing to do. Boy, I would be successful and powerful, and all the way society considers successful and powerful. But when I stop here and think about it for just a minute, no. I'm getting something else coming through. And this light we're talking about, this is the process, God created the process. What you want to do is your choice. You have free will. But it is finished. The divine created a process and said, it is good and it is finished. What is that process? It's finished, it's done, it's good, it's here, it's available, it's going to our hearts. The Trinity in unity. The traditional Christian Trinity is Father, Son, and Spirit. In unity, we say that is mind, idea, expression. There's a divine mind that produced all the divine ideas that are possible, and the compilation of all divine ideas, you put them together and you call that the Christ. And there's the divine expression of the infinite world. And we get to play as co-creators with our minds, with our ideas, and with how we express. And the way we work it to create the ultimate sense of peace and harmony and satisfaction in our lives, we allow our mind to harmonize with this divine mind so that our ideas can be in resonance and in harmony with the divine ideas. The divine idea of music, and then our expression of music, and Kate and Cheryl's expression of music. And they're never the same, and they're different all the time. But there's a truth to the divine idea of what's showing up as harmony, and then the expression of that harmony in infinite ways into the manifest world for the expression of that divine. We get to be the Trinity as well. The Trinity is not something that's like this nice idea that's out there. It's the energies of our life. And you notice it starts with mind to where I connect with ideas that I get to express. It didn't start with, well, here's what the world says I should do, and I'm supposed to do it. And what would people think of me if I didn't do it? I should do this, and if I don't do this, someone's going to be mad, or someone's going to think, if I choose to do this because I have this, want to express this divine energy and do this, those people are going to go, what the heck is your problem, dude? What are you doing? Yeah. So what? Everything on this side of the equation is just, it's there. We have influences. We live in a world. We live in a culture. But we want to be aware of those influences. So we can say, okay, I see all this. And now I'm going to go to the place to align with my mind to divine mind so that my ideas are aligned in harmony with divine ideas so that what I'm expressing is the fullness of the divine energy flowing through me. And we know it when we're doing it. Oh, we know. Oh, because you walk away and you go, man, that was just good. That felt right. That felt right. And, it can feel right for ego reasons, but we start to get pretty clued into the difference between when it's our ego going, boy, I was successful and I did all this and everything according to, whatever. Fill in your economic, according to the capitalist system for what I did and what my parents told me means a success. And the culture says, now I've made it. And how many people have made it and went, why do I feel so empty? It's common, right? It's about showing up with vibrancy in our life to express the truth of what we've been called to do for our purpose. One purpose? I don't know. That's not my experience. I was on purpose for many years as an environmental scientist working for EPA and doing these things for the world and bringing in this energy. And I was working for the Franciscans part-time and working for EPA and finding these things. I was doing retreats and oh my gosh, and I was just going out to the field. That was my purpose, man. This is what I'm going to do forever. I'm going to like it until it wasn't. And I went, oh, not that anymore. Because all of that is on the manifest plane. And all the things that happen on the manifest plane change. They change. They evolve. They move. They're never static. Things on the ultimate plane are consistent. And they're things like principle and love and life and understanding and wisdom. These things exist, and there's not a this or that. They don't exist in a polarity. They just are. Principle just is. Love just is. We can connect to that, but we connect with love, but then we manifest love in a million different ways on the manifest plane. That's what's fun about being a human. A lot of the great saints say angels are so jealous of us. It's like, you get to be human and play all this out. That's so exciting. It's so good. It does come with, and let me say this, and in some ways, 90% of this, I kind of bring it up as if what's going to come out on the other end is like, whoa, this is just, now I'm alive, and I'm really feeling it. There's another side of this, and this comes up too, so let's just own this. There's a time we get to where we get to this place we're aligned, and instead of wanting to manifest something wild, we just don't care. Out of juice, don't care. Got nothing. Don't feel it. Sorry, tapped out. You go. I'm just going to sit here. Because I don't know yet. I haven't got the connection. Now, in the middle of all this, I might be still getting up and driving to work and doing my thing and coming back. And from the outside, it looks like I'm just living life and I'm going through the motions. But on the inside, there are times, and I bet most all of us, if not all of us, can relate to this, where we go, nah. If there's divine ideas that are supposed to be talking to me, I don't know what happened to them, but I got nothing. And in those cases, just be grateful. Because what it means is the consciousness is getting cleaned up. The room is being made. The heart is being refreshed. And we're just being prepared for the next thing. We're going to get off the couch and go, now I got it. Now I got it. Now I know where the next step is. And if we sit here and get too full and fill ourselves with distractions and busyness, and I don't feel good, and I feel like I got nothing, maybe I should go to the doctor, I must need a pill, there's something I got to take, delay and put it off and wait. It is, if grief, bless it. Sadness, bless it. Out of juice, and I have no idea what I'm doing next. Bless that. Bless it. This is part of this unfolding of our humanity. And it is good. I say that, easy for me to say. If I'm going through it and someone says, oh, Frank, it's good, you're doesn't feel like it. But we know the bigger picture. We know what, and we can sit in times of the disquietude and allow that to be part of our transformation. Yeah. So there's another part of this. If this sounds good, okay, I'm going to throw out a big, okay, there's another step. You ready? There's another step. Well, I'll give this one to you. And I'll share this one. It's a story. It comes from the Gospel of Mark. And it goes like this. Yeah, I think I have it. Putting a bookmark would have helped. Okay, here it is. So Jesus, you got to set the setup. It's early in the gospel. It's verse 6. And he just get the disciples. The disciples meaning the apostles. And the apostles, now, by the way, if you're new to Unity, you can think of all this story I'm going to tell you as something that happened literally as far as a historical event. And fine. There is some historicity to this. We know for sure Jesus existed. There was people and all this. Then the movement took off. But I want you, the way I love, as a Unity person, but this is one of the things I love about Unity. We're going to do a metaphysical twist to this. And what that means is we're going to look at a story like we would look at any of the great stories in culture, any of them. And we're going to try to see what the symbols, what it means, how it's speaking to our soul. And so Jesus had just gone out and fed 5,000 people. He was doing a big talk, and all these people came, and they just had a little bit of bread, and he blessed the bread and fed all these people, all these loaves, all this bread. Bread is symbolic in metaphysical terms. We call that divine substance, the omnipresent substance. You never can run out of substance. Substance is just the nature of our universe. And we call on this stuff, this beautiful, holy, sacred stuff called substance. We bless it and it multiplies. There's a way to bring substance into action. And substance isn't always just physical things, although it's often physical things. It's also things like songs, poems, stories, relationships, talks. I mean, everything in our art, the idea of the art and the express substance shows up. So immediately after, Jesus made his disciples get into a boat, and they went on ahead to the other side of the lake to Bethsaida, where Jesus dismissed the crowd. And saying farewell to all the crowd, he went up on the mountain to pray. Oh my God, it is so packed. Okay, let me tell you why that's packed. You might have caught some of this already, but he gets the disciples, the 12 apostles, the 12 powers, the fullness of all the components of activation of a human being. All the 12 powers, you put them together, you get the full power, you bring the Christ energy, and it's the fullness of the human person. The 12 powers. He says, you go across the lake. Go across the lake. We're in Bethsaida. Beth always means a house, and Saida means of the fishing nets or the fishers. This is the place, we're in a place where Jesus is saying, this story is saying, you're in a place. The fish are these divine ideas I'm talking about. You have access. You're in the town. You're in the house where there's a fishing net where you can get all the divine, you have access to all the divine ideas, all of them. It's there. It's rich. Bethsaida is a rich town. Rich in ideas, rich in profundity, rich in all the potentiality, rich in the possibility. And Jesus, the Christ of us, tells, okay, here's all my powers, here's all this stuff. Go out on the sea and go to the other side. Well, that's good. The sea, the waters. Didn't we start with Genesis? That there's waters above and waters below, and the waters above of our conscious mind, and the waters below are our subconscious mind. And the way God reaches us is not through our conscious mind. The superconscious works through the subconscious and is there and greets us in symbols, in silence, in journaling, in yoga, in practice, in meditation, in quiet, and running, not for ego to do a PR sometimes, I think, but just going out for a run and listening to the breath. There's so many spiritual, in music and making music and creating and writing and all these things. Then our draws out the images, the metaphors. The subconscious doesn't speak to us in English. It speaks to us in feelings, images, energies, vibrations, harmonies, energies. And we can't hear that subtlety when we're distracted with noise. And it's a beautiful thing, the 12 powers, man, we're good. We just multiply these 12 loaves. And the disciples, the 12 powers, they're in a boat. They're crossing the lake. They're in this place of profundity, and they're on the lake. They're rising above the noise of the subconscious. They've drawn out from the superconscious enough so that they're on a boat. They're floating on it. They're moving. This is good news. Yeah, on the boat. Not sunk in the waters of the subconscious where they're just like confused and don't know and they haven't thought. They're bringing it up to consciousness, and they're having this beautiful connection. Meanwhile, Jesus doesn't go out on the water. He goes up to the mountain to pray. And when you go up in the mountain, you've gone up in consciousness, How many times in the scripture, someone does this, Jesus goes up to the mountain to pray. He goes up to connect with source. He goes up to connect to source. He goes up to the mountain. He goes to his temple. He goes to his chair. He goes to the temple of his heart, and he connects with the divine. And by the way, everybody in this story is who? You. This is your story. You're Jesus. You're the disciples. It's your ocean. It's your water. It's your boat. It's your bread. This is about you. It's about me. So then evening came. Didn't we just do that in Genesis? Evening came and morning followed. Do you see the parallels here? Yeah. And the boat was out on the sea, and Jesus was alone on the land. And when Jesus saw they were straining at the oars against an adverse wind, he came toward them early in the morning, walking on the sea. Evening came, morning followed. The next day, Jesus walking on the water the next morning. And the disciples, who are really done a great job at listening to superconscious, it's floating them up, or they're in the boat. And then the wind comes up, and they're straining at the oars. And what's the wind? When the wind came to the disciples at Pentecost, what's the wind? It's the Spirit. And are they going, the Spirit's here. Let's put our back to the wind and just go with it. No. They said, let's fight what we're hearing. Like these guys, these disciples, man. They just like, oh my God, the whole story, they're always doing this. He's like, when he saw they were straining at the oars, like, why are you fighting the wind, man? The Spirit. So you've done all this good work. You've sat. You've got the download. You've taken things from the subconscious. You're ready to go out and do what you want to do. Yeah, that looks hard. Yeah. Hey, I don't know. That looks like a struggle. So there's another step. There's another step. So Jesus is so good. So he came toward them in the early morning. He just walked on the sea. He doesn't need no dang boat. I got this, man. I just came from a higher place in consciousness, fortified with energy and courage and insight. And I don't need a boat to carry me up. I just walk on the sea. And they were terrified. They thought he was a ghost, and they were terrified. And immediately he spoke to them. He spoke to them. He spoke to them. This is the Christ of you that's saying, okay, I hear what you're saying. I'm going to stop listening to these other voices. I'm going to listen to the song, that story of my heart. I am connected to the divine in every ounce of my being. I now have gotten the message from the subconscious. I'm off the chair. I'm ready to go. And I feel like the Spirit is asking me to go. And I'm fighting it because I'm scared. I'm worried. What will people think? I'm scared. What if it doesn't work? I'm nervous. Can I really do this? I'm unsure. Jesus says, take heart. It's I, the Christ of your being. And do not be afraid. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So Jesus gets into the boat with them, and then the wind ceased. They were going with the wind. They were astonished. But the disciples, they didn't understand the loaves. Their hearts were still hardened. It takes a while to get this. It does. It takes a while to have the courage that once I get the download of the ideas and what I'm about and how I've now repurposed my purpose and how I know now where to go, take heart. It is I, the Christ within, and don't be afraid. And then we move. We move there. Here's all our joy. Here's all our bliss. I'll end on a note. A bunch of us watched Finding Joe, and it's about Joseph Campbell, and he ends with a thing where he says, find your bliss. He says the great Indian saying about the spiritual path, Satchidananda, pure being, pure consciousness, pure bliss. This is the energy of the divine that is available to all of us. And Joseph Campbell says, being, pure being, I don't know what that is. Pure consciousness. Yeah, no one's quite defined pure consciousness. I sort of get it, but I don't know. Pure bliss. That one I can do. That one I get. Pure joy, pure bliss, pure happiness. So we step and we move to our bliss. Despite all this other stuff, follow the bliss, right? Follow the bliss. And when it gets hard, do not be afraid, because I am with you always. I'm with you always. Yeah. Isn't that beautiful? Jesus, man, great stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm done. It's late.